I've tried being consistent on YouTube forever, and at the beginning it was super hard. Everything was hard about YouTube, but especially being consistent. It just was hard. I just couldn't do it. I spent 3 weeks without making a video. It was super hard. But now I'm making a video twice a week, and this month specifically, every single day of the week. And I'm managing to do this without too much hustle. You see, consistency for me is everything. If you're not consistent, your channel won't grow, the audience that you're trying to build won't grow, your community won't grow, and your customers won't grow if you're trying to build a business out of it. Everything is tied to consistency. It's not the only metric that matters, but it is the number one metric that does matter. If you post every other month, it just won't happen. Nothing will happen with YouTube. You actually need to make it happen. So how do you actually stay consistent? One of them is self-trust. If you don't trust yourself to make YouTube videos, it's going to be super, super hard. It's something that just doesn't work. If you try and make a video every month and you stick to it and you post a video every single month, that's when you will build self-trust, because you're not thinking about trying to do something or imagine if I could do this. You're actually keeping a promise to yourself and making a video every month. Now, that isn't enough, as we established earlier on, but once a month you say, okay, I'm doing this and I'm confident that I can post once a month on YouTube. Okay, well then do it twice a month, and then 3 times a month, and then once a month. And step by step, you will build that self-trust without breaking a promise to yourself, because that's all it comes down to, is promising something to yourself. If you go to your job, you're promising your boss that you're going to your job and you'll be in time, you will do the hours, and you'll get paid at the end of this. On YouTube, and also with your friends, if you tell your friends that you're going somewhere, you'll probably be there. So if you keep a promise to your boss, if you keep a promise to your friends, why wouldn't you keep a promise to yourself? I think that's super, super, super important. It's the most important promise. You don't want to break it, because this is your dream, this is your self-trust, this is everything that you build into this. So just get yourself to keep a promise to yourself. That's it. Just make videos more and more until you're making at least one video a week. If you're making one video a week and you feel like you could do more, but don't try to make it less than that. That's one of the most important things. And also, the more you post, the better your content will become, the more you'll progress, the faster you'll progress, and the more odds of you succeeding are going to be. But at least make it once a week, and that's just by keeping a promise to yourself. Let's talk about excuses. We all have them. I have them, you have them, we all have excuses to not do something. Yeah, I got too tired, I didn't sleep well last night. Maybe you have kids. I don't have kids right now, but it could be your kids that are keeping you awake. It could be all sorts of different things that just keep you awake, and so you tell yourself you're not able to do this. But if you keep a promise to yourself, I saw this guy on YouTube the other day that I do watch, and he said recently that he was doing the same challenge as I am doing right now, which is posting every single day, and he was not ahead of the game. So he got food poisoning, and he said, I could have not made a video. Like, food poisoning, you're sick, you're in bed, and you don't want to do anything, right? But he said, I kept that promise to I wanted to keep that promise to myself that I would make a video every day of the month. And I could say that I couldn't do this one because I got food poisoning, so I would do it, just add a day at the end, and that would end up being 30 days or 31, whatever it was. But that wouldn't be right, because he said he wanted to post every day. So what did he do? He got up, he got his bag and he just, you know, unpacked his bag and started filming a video. The video actually was pretty good. And that's just because he said, I'm going to do this no matter what. There's going to be things that come up. If you post for enough time, let's say you post once a week and you do this for a year, there's probably going to be some way along that timeline, that time horizon, where something's going to come up. You're tired, you got sick, one of your family members got sick, something happened, or you just didn't get much sleep. All of these, you might go on holiday, and these things can throw you off. But is it a good enough excuse? Nothing should be a good enough excuse. Unless you're like dying, it should not be an excuse. I've seen people do so many videos in situations like that guy that got food poisoned. There's another guy that got in a huge accident who was in hospital, and he kept doing one video every single week, even though he was in hospital. So there's no excuse, but it's all about, are you going to well, the excuses do exist, you can get them, but are you going to let those excuses be your identity? If you're not, then you're on your way to success and you're on your way to being super consistent on YouTube. But it's all about saying, yes, I have this excuse. Yes, I'm tired. Yes, X happened, but I'm still going to do this, because if I don't, I'm letting myself down. And that's also going to build your self-confidence, as we just talked about. The confidence also comes from action. So the more you start filming, the more you overcome those excuses, the more you keep that promise to yourself, the more confident you're going to be. You're going to be knowing that you're going to make that video. For example, me, I knew that I would make 2 videos a week. It was never a question of, am I going to manage? Am I going to do this? It's all about just doing it. And same goes for this month. I don't let myself have a choice. If I try to not work on weekends, but if I have to, I will. There's going to be a video every single day for 30 days at least. So the confidence comes from doing that over and over and over again. I've been doing this for over a year, and there's tons of times where I could have excuses. There were excuses for me not to post, but I still ended up posting because of all of the points that I just talked about and the future ones. But also that gives me confidence, so that the next time that something happens, unconsciously you're going to think, okay, well, last time I had this excuse, so it's not really different. I'm just going to post. Maybe it's too hot. Like, I don't have AC. It's not super common here to have AC, and we keep having heat wave after heat wave after heat wave, and it's super hot. It's not really enjoyable. You don't really want to film. You want to take your shirt off and that's it. But I still end up making YouTube videos. And that's just because the confidence came after I could have that excuse of it being too hot. I'm not taking it. The next thing is you want to commit to the process, not the outcome. So you are going to get views. You're going to also have videos that don't get views. So maybe one video will hit, you'll be happy about it. The next video will completely flop and get no views. And when it happens once, it's all right. You might be down for a couple of minutes and think, okay, well, the next video will be all right. But if you focus on that, and let's say for a whole month, which typically is August and in December as well, the videos just don't do well. I had this in December, my channel completely crashed. And this time, before I started this challenge, it was also not doing great. And every single video isn't doing that great in terms of views compared to before August. And that's all right. But if you don't focus on that and instead focus on what you can control, You can control putting out a video every week. You can control putting 2 videos out a week. You can control making a video every single day. That's the outcome. You can, or the input rather. You could focus on making the best, like finding the best idea on your video, trying to be better in every video, trying to say something that's super interesting all the time. Well, if you focus on that, you're going to progress, because it's not about the views, it's not about the comments, it's not about anything you can't control. Rather, it's something that you can, and that's something that is a superpower, because you're not going to be depressed if your video gets 10 views, or if your video gets less than that. You know, a year ago, if I got 3 views, I was happy. So the views are always going to do something, because it's impossible to completely ignore them. But if you focus and you say that your goal is to make 1 video a week or 2 videos or whatever, and make them the best you can, if the video flops, you'll just say, well, I did my best, what can I improve next time? And that's just the best superpower to stay consistent, because if you watch your views all the time and you see that you're not making progress, because at the beginning you're going to flatline at 3-5 views. I know at least I did. So if you get that and you focus on that, then you're going to quit. But if you focus on making your videos the best that you can all the time, that's when you're going to say, well, I actually achieved what I wanted to do, and you're going to stay consistent. If you manage to do a couple of weeks, a couple of months where you don't miss a single upload, you're going to build the evidence that you can actually post every single week, every however many times you want to post, at least once a week. And I would suggest more than that, but at least once a week. And you're going to build the evidence that you can do this. And when you have the evidence that you can do something, it just becomes so much easier. I don't let the heat wave stop me from making YouTube videos. I don't let anything, just because I have the evidence that if I want to make a YouTube video, I can make that video and I can upload that video. Simple as that. By the way, if you have any questions about YouTube or anything about your channel, just let me know. There's a link in the description which you can click on. It might still be free. I'm looking for 5 people right now, and I filmed these are videos in advance, so they might still be places. It might be paid, but if you have any questions, just, you know, book a call and we can talk about your channel. It's not a sales call, it's just to help you out. Now, even though you might be super consistent, I know when I first started, I started to be super consistent. But the trouble is, I was getting 5 to 10 views, or even less at the beginning, 3 to 5. And I was progressing super slowly. And I don't really have any reason to keep going. And you might feel the same. It's super hard to just keep going. So if you're not getting as many views as you want to get, then watch that video to keep posting, even if you have 0 views. And that will change the way you look at YouTube. With that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.